So this is Saturday, April 11th, 2020, and it's the period in history of social distancing. And I watch the news, and I hear that because of this pandemic of the coronavirus, that there is a lot of people feeling suicidal. They're worried about the future and about their jobs and their security and money and how they're going to pay for everything and what they're going to do, what the future's going to look like. Are they going to live? Are they going to die? And they're worried. And I've been there. Done that. And I want to encourage people who have suicidal ideations. One, comedy helps. Comedy helps. And thinking it through really helps. I have suicidal thoughts every day. Once when I was a young girl, I attempted suicide and I wasn't successful. And then later in life, I was accused of attempting suicide when I actually wasn't. I was actually doing preventative self-care. But I came out of 2 back-to-back surgeries. The first one was a hysterectomy. Second one was a bowel obstruction that resulted from the hysterectomy, complete bowel obstruction. I got out of that whole ordeal and was taken advantage of while I was in the hospital. I posted a picture of myself on Facebook asking for prayer. And the way the prayer was answered was I lost custody of my children while I was in recovery. And then my former lawyer refused to represent me. Maybe for more than one reason, I don't know. But he said he heard from my ex-husband's lawyer that I was in the hospital trying to commit suicide. So then I started having homicidal thoughts. Thinking of all the people that have wronged me and misunderstood me and lied about me and lied to me and misled me. And I started making a list of all the people I'd love to kill. From the top down, on down. And I figured I'd just aim for the top and go for God. And then the next one is the Pope. And then the next one would be any world leader. And then the next one would be any of the world leaders' supporters. And then the next one would be any dictator, any narcissist, any one who disagrees with my opinions, all of my friends, all of my neighbors, everyone, except for the people I love. So then I started working back up the ladder, and I thought, okay, part of me loves all humanity. And I wouldn't want anyone to die, especially people who don't deserve it. There's a lot of people out there that just really don't deserve to die. There's some other people out there that might deserve to die if they are literally dangerous killers and they're like serial killers or whatever. They need to be taken out of society because they're a danger to society. If I could kill this virus, I would. If I knew exactly how to kill it, I would kill it. And then everybody could go back to normal life and feeling healthy and happy and enjoy society and each other. So I balance out every suicidal thought with a homicidal thought. That's balanced. And then I'm like, if people are dangerous and they're trying to hurt me, I'm like, get away from me. And the people that are loving and kind and supportive, I say, you can come closer to me. But now, with this coronavirus, we're like doing this to everybody. Just stay 6 feet away from me because I don't want to die and I don't want to kill you. At least that's what I'm doing. And if I have to go out into public, I put on a mask. And I'm enjoying feeling like this is the first time in my life that I can walk into a store or wherever, bank or whatever is open with a mask over my face, feeling like I'm a, train robber or something. Or I'm up to no good. So, suicidal thoughts are actually very normal. They're normal. Acting on suicidal thoughts is a cry for help because you're feeling that desperate. If you do not act on it, those thoughts and emotions will pass. It's kind of like a shitstorm. It'll pass. If you need to rant and rave and scream and get all your shitty emotions out, it's nice to have the privacy of a house to do it in. If you can do it where you're not taking your anger and rage out on another human being, that's the best idea. Take it out on something that is inanimate. It could be anything. I mean, you could take something that's yours, not other people's property, but your own, and take out all your frustration on something that is just doesn't have emotions. You could write about it. That's what I do. I create fictional characters, and I infuse certain human attributes into the characters, and then I kill them. And then I leave them alone in reality, because I figure eventually they'll die of something, maybe their own doing, I don't know. I'm a very passionate person, so I also do theatrics, and I was in theater and acting, and I can Johnny on the spot pull up an emotion and act it out. It's come in handy at times for keeping myself safe, especially since I've dealt with some criminals who may have not had very good intentions towards me. Yes, I've had to chase some people off my property. Those are fun times. And I've been attacked by someone before who was on drugs, and she didn't know where she was, and she doesn't remember the night she attacked me. That's what she told the judge. And she only spent 4 days in jail. So that was an exercise in forgiving another human who could have killed me and ended my life for no reason other than she didn't know where she was and she was afraid. And homicidal, looking for somebody to kill and fuck up. Having a purpose in life is important. If you feel like your purpose has been taken away, or you don't have a reason for living, find one. Make one up. Find out what makes you happy that leaves other people alone. Or find out someone else that might be someone you can help. Life has seasons. This is just a season. This pandemic will pass. I went through a divorce before, and it was a pretty dramatic and horrendous divorce. It still is. And now I've been isolated from my children because of that. And I went to the University of Oregon and worked my ass off to get A's and get a degree and on a scholarship. And now I have a degree in English and creative writing, and I don't have a job. I was told that was a stupid degree to go for. But I love poetry and writing and creativity. And certain people who are crazy, if they're crazy in a fun way, if they're crazy in a nice way, safe way, they're fun. So I love my theater family. Theatrics and dramatics and reality can lead to somebody actually dying. That's not good. I know this. I have 6 daughters. I understand drama. And 2 sons. I understand drama. And I understand teenage hormones and ranting and raving and screaming and yelling, because I'm a drama mama. And I'm traumatized. And I'm a political activist. I have my political opinions. And I'm an artist. I know all about Dadaism. So I'm a traumatized drama mama Dadaist. And if I get really angry, I can talk a mile a minute. And if I really get angry, I can throw out some cuss words. And then I might tie your shoes so that you don't fall and break your nose. I might give you something to eat before I tell you to get the fuck off my property. There's the police, Springfield police driving by. I've had the police called on me more times than I can remember. By, I'm sure, my ex-husband or my kids, or possibly my neighbors, I don't know. And it was quite satisfying right before this coronavirus epidemic hit that I was cast in a local movie called We Need Rent Money, where I got to play an undercover police officer with a machine gun in my hand, doing a drug bust. That was very cathartic. It's a comedy. I never in a million years would have thought that one day in the future I would be in a movie, even a small town local movie. I just never, that was not on my agenda. So as an encouragement, when you're going through this, hang in there. Life has surprises. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. People do die. That's why we're born. We're born and then we die. And it's what you do in the middle that counts. It's that little dash. And sometimes when people are threatening suicide, it's scary, especially when they're holed up in a bedroom with a gun. I've been through that. Not me, but my brother. And he didn't do it, and I'm thankful. But then later he ended up losing his wife to a drug overdose. Sometimes, and she was young, she was 23. So sometimes people do things and they think they're invincible, and they're not. Humans are vulnerable. Life is vulnerable, it's fragile. It's amazing any of us live long at all. I'm worried about my kids. 2 of them have type 1 diabetes, and I can't be with them, and they're adults. And so I have to trust that some God or society or whoever they're around is going to watch over them. That takes a lot of faith. And that's pretty amazing for somebody like me who used to be a Sunday school teacher and then went through a period of atheism and explored some other forms of spirituality, including magical realism, magical surrealism, magical thinking, and intentional delusional thinking, and then came to a conclusion of agnosticism. I don't know. I don't know the big picture of why we're all here, how we all got here. Why do we want to live? Why do we want to die? Why would you want to commit suicide? You want to kill something. Why yourself? You want to kill something. Maybe you're hungry. Maybe you're just hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, which we all are. We all get there. Or you're exhausted. The reactions to fear is to fight, flight, freeze, which is fix, flock, and fawn. So birds of a feather flock together, or you can say flock off if you need to go nicely. Just flock off, fly away. And fawn, you need to keep, the things that are dear to you safe. And your life should be dear to you. It should be dear to you if no one else. So hold on for dear life. It's like a roller coaster ride. Eventually we'll all kick off this earth, either together or separately. And it's kind of like, my dad was a logger. It's kind of like, he was against clear cutting, just cutting it all. He was more into selective old growth. So this virus is kind of like a selective picking off of people, not just the old people, not just white people, not just poor people, not just black people, not just rich people, not just doctors, not just kids, not just anybody. We don't know. And so that's scary. It's like having an invisible enemy out there in the world. And we have invisible enemies. And then sometimes we have real enemies that show up in human form. And sometimes people kill each other and they don't even mean to. Accidents, car accidents, all sorts of things. So tomorrow's Easter. For some of the people in the world, it means a time of hope for a new life, new beginning. After Jesus' own people killed him, he kind of said, "Fuck you, I'm going to come back." I'm sure he didn't say "fuck you," but defiance disorder. He didn't stay dead. I have fun sitting around diagnosing Jesus. That's what I like to do. And then I like to diagnose psychologists and diagnose my friends and just diagnose everybody with a condition, because most people have a condition that I've discovered called fear, for one, but it's also called fuckerism. Fuckerism. Just fuck it. Because if your parents didn't copulate, you wouldn't be here. So, the French called sex le petit de mort, the little death. Why? Because sex gives life, but it also leads to death. And if you're not careful when you have sex, you can get a disease that can kill you. And if you're not careful with who you have sex with, the person can kill you. And if you're not careful who you marry, your husband or wife could kill you. And if you're not careful with who you're stuck inside a house with going batshit crazy, you can feel like killing each other. I have those daily thoughts too, but I won't do it. There are times when I grab a pillow and just and get it all out. So hang in there. And don't kill yourself. The morgues don't need more bodies to deal with. They just don't. They're already overwhelmed by people who are just dying from other things. And don't kill anybody. You know, if you feel like it, write about it. Draw a picture. Do something. Go out and weed or break bricks or, you know, do something. Getting all that energy out of you. And then calm down and take a chill pill and find something to focus on that gives you some endorphins. And if you are chemically imbalanced, you know, you might want to consider talking to a psychiatrist or psychologist or a doctor and try some kind of a neuro inhibitor, like Wellbutrin or Paxil or something like that, if you're that chemically imbalanced, because the brain isn't connected to the body. It just is. It's housed inside our body. And so try to eat healthy foods and stay balanced. And right now our world's out of balance. Life is out of balance. But it'll right itself again. It will. That's what happens. We're kind of everything's topsy-turvy. And then it's like a roller coaster ride. It's topsy-turvy. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. So we go into the future, we resurrect the past, and it's like we're swimming. And then, if we can stay balanced in the center, you can pretend. You can pretend like you are a shaman, or a healer, or a wise person, or the center of the universe, or you can pretend anything you want to. I have a friend out here working, and he's pretending that this whole thing's not even happening. Doesn't even want to watch the news. He just keeps to himself, comes to work, goes home, eats dinner, feeds his dogs, falls asleep, maybe watches a movie, gets up, comes back to work, does this routine waiting. He's waiting for this to all pan out and unfold so that we can get back to being, you know, social again. And we're just hanging out, doing our best. So hang in there.